Hello everybody, this is Alchemy Accordance. This is just a video to inform you of basic information before you have a reading with me. So we're looking at the wheel. This is the 360-degree wheel, which is separated by the cross, which gives us four corners. These four corners are as the four corners of our brain. That's why it looks like a labyrinth. The labyrinth represents the four corners of our brain, which are ignited by our seven chakras. And our seven chakras, we are musical instruments. This is also like the middle of a guitar. We are musical instruments. In order to have a material body and in order to have fallen to such a low frequency to which we're all experiencing right now, it's done by sound. So astrology is basically alchemy, because you have to learn how to accord your chakra system to the planets. But in order to do that, you need to know what your correct astrology sign is, and you need to know where all the planets are. And there's lots of different kinds of readings you can have. But when I first meet people, the most important thing is a basic natal chart reading. Now, you can have that. I'll take you through all that afterwards. But this is to just help you with that first introduction to astrology. So the cross is separated into four parts, and these could be the four seasons, the four parts of our brain, the four continents: America, Africa, Asia, Europe, the four elements. And in order to escape the wheel, we need to find a state of balance of becoming harmonized between water, earth, fire, and air. Okay, we see that here: fire, water, air, earth, fire, water, air, earth. So the wheel is basically this process, and this process is separated into three parts, the Trinity, and in each season we have 3 months. So that is the journey of mutable to fixed to cardinal, and that can be compared to liquid, solid, and gas. Okay, but we're all a mixture of these elements, and our job is to know ourselves, because until we know our name, we will never know the N-A-Me, name, know thyself. So for me, doing astrology is helping you to get back onto the correct cross, and using my intuitive ability also, I would say, the more genuine I'm becoming and the more authentic, the more the planets are speaking to me. I've been doing astrology my whole life. As a small introverted child in the 70s, most middle-class families had a Linda Goodman astrology book. And my family had the 12 star signs and Linda Goodman love signs, and I later discovered another book of hers. But I read those books inside out. Now, the problem is that all my life I've always used to know everybody's sun sign, but now I'm realizing that all the Geminis I knew were Taurus, all the Aries I knew were Pisces, all the Virgos I knew are Leos. So I'm readjusting, which I think I've done now. I've just come through, I'm coming to the end of 3 months of free readings. And these free readings I've been doing was to get me used to this new astrology. This last gatekeeper I've gone through is finding out that astrology is on the wrong equinox. What this means is that we are kept on the Aries, Libra, Alpha, Omega. So that's the famous arc we always hear, the rainbow. It's not a raindrop, a rainbow is just half of the circle. But this rainbow has got us on Alpha Omega because we're no longer, the sun moves. Here we have the 12 houses, the 12 signs. Now, we didn't always have 12 houses. The wheel has been, I wonder if it was ever 8, which would be much more to the spider. Tesla, it talks about Tess, he's a tissier, he's a weaver. These people are just, it's another way of talking of the wheel. But Tesla, yeah, he talks about 369, which is the fixed cross. You've got to get fixed before you can spin. So Alpha, Omega is, and there's always 7 between each half. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we had a rule of the over arc, and now we're just coming out. Each house is 30 degrees, and that represents 2,200 years of an age. So, oops, sorry. This wheel represents a cycle that we are now coming to the end of 26,500 years, which is each of these houses' ages. And so we've been kept on here, Aries, Libra, but in fact we're just coming out of Pisces, and the sun moves 72 degrees per 30 degree age. So we should now be entering here into Aquarius, so the wheel should have click-clacked to here, and then we would find ourselves on the pyramids of Giza. Were aligned because when they were built in the age of Babylon, not Egypt, the people knew very well that when we would be aligned here, we would be on the Sphinx down here in Leo and the pyramids of Giza up here, but we're still on Aries, Libra. So this is an inside job, and when we come into this age, we will be ruled by Saturn. So Jupiter has been ruling all these years. This is going to make nearly, this is over 12,000 years. Jupiter has been ruling. And the two, I'm going to take you through photographs, so you're going to see a few photographs, but this is the age of the Twin Peaks. 72 plus 72 makes 144. In the Bible, it says, follow the Lamb, only 144,000 people will make it into this Twin Peak age. It basically represents the journey from lead, we go all the way around the wheel, and we come back here and we come back to gold. This is why we're seeing all the, we're seeing this third race of human beings which has been developed. As Huxley wrote in A Brave New World, 70% of women will be sterile. And if you look up about free martins, you'll find out more about that. But many of the women walking among us today are women with XY chromosomes. Which means that they have the behavior of men. So we're being artificially taken into this energy. So Saturn rules, it's the only planet to rule 2 ages side by side. Jupiter rules here, Sagittarius, masculine, fire, and Pisces, mutable, water, feminine, mutable. So Jupiter rules these 2 signs. Mars rules Aries and Scorpio. Venus rules Taurus and Libra. Mercury rules Gemini and Virgo. And the Sun rules Leo, and the Moon rules Cancer. So currently, the people ruling the wheel are the religion, Leo, Sun, and the Freemasons, Moon. That's the Solomon seal, because they don't want us to come into this age opposite, which is when we return to gold. We learn how to be in the wheel, not ruled by the lower chakras, as we have been these past 12,000 years, and we attain the kingdom of heaven. Aquarius represents heaven, Leo opposite is earth. We always have this between heaven and earth, with every opposition of every sign. So we should be entering, so it's just got a helicopter going over the house. Yeah. So yeah, we're meant to be coming in here, ruled by Saturn. And so we've got 4 elements. We've got 12 signs. We've got 12 houses, and we're going to see all the planets. And we've got the planets that rule our chakra system. So our chakra system is ruled by the root chakra, Mars. Here's Mars. He rules the root chakra, Aries and Scorpio. We've got Jupiter, expansion, that rules our desires. That's our sacrum, just below our belly button. Then we've got the solar plexus, which is the moon and the sun. Okay, and then we get into the higher chakras. We get to our heart, ruled by Venus, here, Taurus and Libra. We have our voice, ruled by Gemini and Virgo. This is Mercury. Mercury rules our voice. And then we come back to Saturn again. Saturn was lead when we were really clay. And we've done the journey. We've gone around through all the ages. And this is why this is such a big moment that we're living. Now, the transition from the age of Pisces to Aquarius is a long process. But because they've given us 365 days a year, they've also now got us in 12 signs. But as I was saying before, the calendar in the matriarchal ages was at 10 months of the year, and it's possible we've even had 8, 9, 10, 11, and we're at 12, and now they're bringing in 13th sign. It's ever more dicing the cake, because we live in a pie. That's what the life of pi is about. This is a cake. This is how we're sliced and discorded. The treble and bass gives us 5 lines. Those are the 10 commandments. We should be in a wheel of 360. The moon would give us that, but we're currently under the sun. Anyway, this wheel is to be seen, and then we can return to spirit. But we have to know the wheel to make that journey. Everything is in the wheel. We don't need to be teaching people history and maths and science and philosophy and geometry and architecture and history. Everything is in the wheel, because this talks about our material experience. And it's only the 5th element is the ether. And we can be in that state in a physical body. It's a metamorphosis. It's a chrysalis. This is why the butterfly is split in 4 parts. This is why they gave us the 4 musketeers. This is why they give us the 4 evangelists. And so we've got the 4 elements. We've got 3 crosses which are possible within this wheel. We have the mutable cross. So mutable is Pisces, Virgo, Gemini, Sagittarius. It's a cross there. Then we have the fixed cross, Aquarius, Leo, Taurus, Scorpio. And this is where the 4 royal fixed stars that never move, or they do move, but you know, over not in this wheel's lifetime. So this is where we have, as I said, the pyramids of Giza, because this is where our third eye opening sits when we come back to gold, if we make it, which is Fomalhaut. This is the stone the philosophers rejected. Okay, and opposite Fomalhaut is Regulus. So this is where the head of Jesus is, or the Leo da Vinci man is here, and his feet are here on Regulus Leo. Then we have Jesus's right hand in Taurus and his left hand in Scorpio, and this is where we have Aldebaran. Aldebaran is the philosopher's stone, the bullseye, the Bible, to keep us in material. That's why there's a bull in front of Wall Street. It's, you know, Taurus represents our physical experience and finding either our spiritual worth or we're too concerned with our physical worth. And that's why all religion worships the Bible, because religion is ruled by Jupiter, expansion, and Jupiter, who is Zeus, killed his father Saturn. Kronos, this is space, this is time. So space killed time, and space wants to live forever. Space is interested in expansion. But in 2020, they will be fighting for the throne because the winter solstice in Capricorn, Jupiter and Saturn will meet on the 21st of December 2020. That's why they brought out the film Catch-22, because 2020 is double 2. And that is before we, you know, that is the DNA flesh trap. Jupiter keeps us trapped in the flesh trap. So that's the fixed cross, Antares, Aldebaran, Fomalhaut, Regulus. And the cardinal cross is Aries, Libra, Cancer, Capricorn. That's highest cardinal energy, Grand Master. This is fixed Master, Libra, Leo, Taurus, Scorpio, and mutable Pisces, Virgo, Gemini, Sagittarius. Okay, so we've got 3 crosses within a wheel of 12 signs. We've got 12 signs, and we've got 7 main planets that rule the chakras and also are more concerned with us individually. And we have 3 outer planets, Pluto, the furthest, that deals with our unconscious, our subconscious realm. We've got Neptune, which deals with imagination. And we've got Uranus, which is the planet that brings change whether we like it or not. And if we're conscious beings, we can work happily with Uranus and Jupiter to bring our dreams into the material. And if we're pure good people and we're aware of our unconscious, we can use our unconscious with Saturn's spirit, intention, to guide our material wishes so that they are correct. It's just my dog's Happy and Honey having a little drink. Happy, honey, come and sit with Mommy here. Happy and cushy. Voila. So the inner planets, and the root chakra is Mars. That rules our sexual desires. Jupiter rules our desires. Where's Jupiter? Here. Jupiter rules our desires. Solar plexus is that light that we can light within, but we either light it with the lower chakras, Mars and Jupiter, and we never... You see all the yoga... sorry, the dogs are just running after little mice, I think, in the kitchen. All the yoga and all these, they just focus on illuminating your solar plexus. But you gotta go through, the fires, through Plato's cave, through Mars and Jupiter, and you've got to get all the way up here to the third eye. But that's not so easy because, we should now be coming on to here, Aquarius to Leo, but we're still stuck on Aries, Libra. That we really are going to be, we're 23.5 Earth tilt crap out of 30 people are just not going to open that third eye. So my job is to really help people the best they can to really know their guitar, who they really are. Okay, we're going to look at some pictures that I prepared. Have a little look at this. Okay, he doesn't want to open more. So here we see more easily. Saturn rules Aquarius, Capricorn. This is 72 plus 22. This is what they talk about in the Bible. Only 144 will make the golden age. Saturn is contraction. Jupiter is expansion. So this is why getting old, growing old, everything to do with being old has been so demonized. And we're now entering this age where people won't be allowed to die. Literally, we're going to be, our consciousness will be downloaded, and because those who have sold their souls, they know they can't come back here, so they would rather create a dystopia to profit the best they can of all those souls that don't make it back here. So it really is an inside job. I don't think there's anything we can do to stop it in the bigger picture. I think that two different realities will be created now. I think that those that just can't get off this yellow brick road will live a material hell. I mean, we're already in this lower frequency, and it's not easy to see through all the veils. But it's, the greatest disappointment is that all the astrology coming out at the moment is still tropical, and even the sidereal astrology that is coming through in Vedic, and more astrologers are using sidereal, it's not 100% correct. I use, like Lavette. Lavette is a wonderful astrologer who's brought me to this level that I am at now. I was looking for a teacher. I'm always, I always have to go search for my teachers. So thanks to Lavette, I'm now using Stellarium, and this is the current, this is right now. And this shows me really where all the planets are, and then I use sidereal charts to see how all your charts and your planets speak to each other, and I can do all the same things I've always done in astrology. I can do all the returns. We can, look into the past. We can look into the future. It doesn't change how I work. It's just that I'm more concerned in alchemy now and seeing your journey. And I'm also aware now that Saturn really is the ruler of the astrology wheel. because until we find inner self-discipline and contraction, and we cope with the fact that, you know, this is a material experience, but that spirit is for always, and we don't have to worship heroes, we are the hero. As soon as we get that, astrology takes on a whole new definition. We're all here to find our purpose, and that's what I do in my readings. I'm very aware that some people aren't maybe here to leave the wheel, but maybe this time, but people have to be as true as they possibly can be to the tools and the abilities they've been given this time to help them through. So I'm using Stellarium. I'm also using charts. I did have a great software that I can no longer use because they don't have sidereal. But basically, I can do transitions. I can do all the things that I was doing before. This is right now. Okay. Come back to my photographs. And here we go. We'll just go through them all. Okay, we've seen that one. I think that if I move along, what else have we got here? Okay, you see what does this look like? This just means that we're not stuck on the Leo da Vinci cross, that we have become aware of alchemy, and that we know that mutable fixed cardinal is the neutron, the proton, and the electron. And it's a spin, and that's why, you know, in Sleeping Beauty, everyone got pricked by a wheel, because the wheel is what we're stuck in. The world is run by the gypsies. The Romans are the Romanis. You know, it's now common knowledge that in Bulgaria there is a statue of 2 dragons, because Wales, the Prince of Wales, is, you know, we're talking about ancient Romanian gypsies, and they have us stuck in a ball. We're in their crystal ball. It's like the Truman Show. But we have to learn how to weave, and we do it in our own ways, but you've got to learn how to spin. Okay, what other pictures do I have here? Well, it looks like we're going to go through all my pictures. This is the cross, mutable, fixed, cardinal. What was that? Yeah, it's all, everything is talking about the 4 corners. Cardinal cross, all the Fibonacci sequence. Here are the 7 planets which deal with our chakras and also with the metals. So we begin at lead, and we have to get back to Saturn to become gold again. Okay, 64 is when I'm 64, trapped in the material realm. We don't want to be stuck. That's half a circle of 360. 360 is 180. 144 is the twin peaks of when we're ready to be gold. You see, Saturn is 63, Jupiter is 64. This is the trap. Okay, the famous Tesla 369, keeping us stuck in the wheel. You need the 12 as well. You need 4. You need the swastika spin, that's why they've demonized it, to get out of this trap. In France, the phone number for orange, which represents Mercury Hermes, is all these numbers, 369 all the time. And the banks, the postal bank uses these, is 3696, I think. Yeah. 2020, Jupiter and Saturn Pluto will be along there too, but on the 21st of December, on the winter solstice, Jupiter, Zeus, will meet Saturn, Kronos, space, time, and each of us individually will manifest the next 20 years. We either choose the spiral further into material flesh, or we have found the spiral to escape spiritual Saturn. But Saturn is contraction and Jupiter is expansion. So many, they're going to use Saturn's energy to trap us into total tyranny. This is when we're going to be trapped now into this virtual reality, and 5G. Only we individually can escape the beehive. Okay, come on, little mouse. Keep working. Okay, this is the X factor. It's our chromosomes. This is how we're being split. These are, again, the four corners, the four parts of our brain. This is Cronus, Saturn, who rules time. Those who can't escape the wheel will be trapped and they will be recolted and harvested. This is Mercury, who's taken over our ability to be alchemists. You've got to get the DNA strands have to get past the vagus nerve here to open our third eye. My mouse doesn't want to work. This is the flag of Biarritz, which is red and black. Why? Because red represents air, Aquarius, and black represents Capricorn, Earth, both ruled by Saturn. This is Aquarius, Capricorn. This is the age of the Twin Peaks. Sorry, just my mouse likes to. Oh, the Twin Peaks, that's what fell, because they don't want us to get to this age of Twin Peaks. Gold, Twin Peaks. We've just done all that. Yeah, we've done that. We did have the period of, of the beginning of the Bible, and God created earth and heaven, then he found the light, then we had the Garden of Eden, and we've just spent 12,000 years here. Saturn rules Aquarius and Capricorn. This is the upright cross. Jupiter is the upside down cross. It's the Antichrist. Okay? All astrology, the Bible is astrology. So now we've been merged from the Twin Towers into an asexual minions. Ouroboros, Twin Peaks. This represents our brain. This is the labyrinth of Pan. Where I live in the 32nd apartment, and we have the labyrinth of Pan on our church because 32 represents the 32nd vertebrae, state of grace. Before 33, crucifixion, we either fall in the material trap or we turn lead to gold. Same thing, Odyssey 2001 was telling us that this time was coming. The Twin Peaks will become one. Pi. Trapped in the Pi. This is Aries, Libra, Alpha, Omega, Utopia, Dystopia. This is what we're stuck on. And 33 inch records stuck. This is the true God, Saturn of Aquarius and Capricorn. This is the true Lord of the Rings. This is at the Vatican. This represents our third eye. but this is currently being fatally activated because it can also be activated. Those who worship Aldebaran, the bullseye, they are into sodomy. This heart represents Catch-22, 2020, when Saturn and Jupiter meet and they want to catch our hearts. Kiss of Judas. Libra, this is closed. Omega. 23 DNA, double twin strands of DNA. We enter the twin age of 144. Or we find grace, 32, or we are trapped in a DNA trap. Twin Peaks. This is the true journey of the chakras. You've got to make it up, and then you come back to Bethlehem, the solar plexus. But that's an inside job. Here we have, again, the wheel. Everything I've explained to you. So Saturn rules up here. He is the lord of the over-arc, but we're still being ruled by Cancer Leo. This was the age of the flood, destruction. Cancer is destruction. Opposite Capricorn is creation. Aquarius is the age of the third eye opening. When everybody knows, they come back to the wheel. They come back to astrology. Everybody gets that we're trapped in a material pirate's wheel. We're now entering the age of NASA, pilots, but we've just come out of pirates. But we mustn't let the pilots rule this age. This is for us to become gold. So this is creation, destruction, and this is the age of I know, when we truly do become one again, and below is Babylon, the age of confusion. It was the age where we crowned the gypsy kings and queens who knew the wheel, and little by little they have put us totally in a sleeping beauty sleep. We're now 1,700 years completely asleep. And we're coming out here. This is the pyramids of Giza. This is the Sphinx. This is the correct equinox. We're at 33.5 degrees from around here to here off. Okay. This is half the circle. Uranus takes 84 years to do a cycle. He's the material god, keeping us in the flesh with Jupiter. Half of 84 is 42. We're kept in the rainbow when we should be able to create the raindrop. This is why this is the symbol of pi, life of pi, and that's why France won 4, Croatia 2. All rituals to keep us half man, half beast. This is the journey Venus makes in the sky, doing her retrogrades. And in 2023, we're really trapped in they've inverted Venus. Venus rules air, Libra masculine air and Taurus feminine earth. So Aldebaran, the fate philosopher's stone, the bullseye, they have turned this highest cardinal wisdom of the flower of life. The flower of life isn't eternal, it's the wheel. But the flower of life is our material experience that we have to be aware of in order to return to spirit. And it's Aquarius is the air sign that takes us into the Twin Peaks. This is the age of Libra, Venus on Libra, and perfecting and mastering the Fibonacci code, which is this flower. This is the true arc of the covenant, when we are able to make the connection between our right and left brain, and we become illuminated. This can be done through sodomy, through rituals, or through finding our higher chakras. losing all self, ego and desire, where we're living really just to help everybody else escape the wheel in our own way. This is what's in my village. It's the famous Labyrinth of Pan. This represents the electromagnetic force of our 7 chakras, and when we illuminate our mind in an authentic way and we become whole. You see the man, the cross becomes whole, no longer half a circle but a whole. But it's an individual journey. This is what we're trapped on at the moment, life and death, Alpha Omega. These are some of the joys to come. As long as we are not the conductor of our organs, we will be played. The lyra, the harp, that's controlling our electromagnetic human body. Tess or Tesla represents that now man has created the free martin from the bull of Aldebaran. Tess is in French a tissier, or comes from Latin tuer, which means to kill the weaver, the spider. We're trapped in a material web. So Mars, Jupiter, solar plexus, Venus, the heart, Mercury, the throat chakra. This is this is not completely correct. You can take all this as Mercury, and this is our third eye. Yeah, this is the 40th department, which separates between me, the 32nd, and 64. Microsoft have created 32 megabytes to become 64 Microsoft 7. Biarritz has the red-black flag because it's the end of taking over Europe, and it's also the sea for the pirates to go to America, North America, Na, South America, Sa, NASA, Space Force, and this is an old tradition to round up the sheep. That's why Stephen Paddock in Las Vegas, the vagus nerve, Las Vegas, that joins North America, South America, and Biarritz has the Virgin Mary, just like Las Vegas has the Virgin Mary, and Celeste Dionysus, Celine Dion, holds rituals to make this passage of owning NASA when it should be the true Twin Peak age. So 64 is red and black, representing this Twin Peak age. But we don't see that anymore. We see red, green and white because, as in Bulgaria and as in Wales, because the dragon bloodline wants to take over our flesh. This is where we're being led into. This is the spin, the knowledge of the spin, the fixed, mutable and cardinal cross. Again, this is what we're trapped on. We're trapped on the fixed cross by the 322 skull and bones, Alpha, Omega. Mercury and Jupiter rule Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, Pisces. So Jupiter rules Pisces and Sagittarius, and Mercury rules Gemini and Virgo. This is the Michael Jackson, Mick Jagger, Rolling Stone to Death Club, the pirates, the pilots. Ishtar, (32) or 23, state of grace. We become the phoenix, we open, we make the ark in our brain, or we remain flesh. 25 represents 7. 7 is the 7 chakras taken over. Or the red pill, blue pill gang. The flag of Wales. The law Saturn rules Saturn is the planet that is the middle beat. It's all about sound. There's lots of pictures here, but most aren't. This is interesting. So the wheel is separated into 4 parts. This part deals with the introverted self quadrant, self-values, how we think and feel. The second part represents domestic environment, family, creativity, work, introverted others, extroverted others, external world and interpersonal relations, extroverted self, personal pursuits, professional achievement. Hero's journey, basically. This is Alpha Omega, that's why the Twin Towers had to become one. We're trapped. Charlotte's Web, or Lot's wife. Through to 2 Skull and Bones, and this is the spider, or the labyrinth. That's why my village is called Aignan, or in French, araignée is spider. You have to know how to be a spinner and a weaver. Gypsy's rule. This is more to do with testosterone. 70% of women will be free martins, and we're nearly there. A lot of the women walking around have got XY chromosomes. The wheel again. When I'm 64. 4 corners. 4 times 8 is 32. 2 halves of the brain, 32, 32. 3, 2, 2 skull and bones. 64 trapped in the flesh wheel. Again 23 because it's 32. 23 double strands of DNA. Okay, this shows how the wheel separates. So in the wheel, you have 12 signs, you have the 7 planets, and you have 12 houses. The 7 planets on each individual wheel, guitar, your sound to give you a material body. You have those 7 planets arranged in different houses. The houses are the scenes where you will play a role. The planets are the actors, which will have another script and another costume to wear, depending on the house and the sign that they sit in. This is a divine comedy. We are playing a play. We can either be unconsciously played, we can be spun, or we learn how to spin. My job is to show you what you've come to do on this wheel. So you see, first house represents normally Aries, I am. The second house represents normally Taurus, I have. The third house, Gemini, represents I think. The fourth house is Cancer. It's your roots, it's your inner temple. The fifth house is Leo, the adolescent, I will. Confusion because you're an adolescent. Sixth house is when you've completed the first half of the wheel, and this is where you're concerned with alchemical, with your physical body, with your health, with work. This is the Virgin. This is when you become interested in relationships. It's the 7th house, so we've gone from I am to the other. This is when you're concerned with other people. Then you come to the 8th house. This is the transmutation through sex. This is death and rebirth, everything taboo, where you may be able to enter the wisdom of the occult, either be a pawn to it or overcome it, see it for what it is. 9th house is the house that Jupiter rules. This is masculine Sagittarius. This is where we become concerned with culture, philosophy, higher learning, but the Jupiterians don't want you to leave this area. This also represents religion. They don't want you to get to the Twin Peaks here. So the 10th house represents career. And it, you know, it represents normally Capricorn, which is I do. This is Sagittarius, which is I see. This is Capricorn, I do, Earth, and this is where Aquarius, where we're heading now, and Aquarius is where you become aware of the bigger picture, you become the servant for the all, you're fully aware, or if you just use it in an unconscious way, that will be concerned in friends, with people. Yes, you can be very humanitarian, but if you haven't seen through everything that's hidden, you're not going to be doing the right job. And the 12th house, also ruled by Jupiter, expansion. This is all the area of spirituality, the ethereal realm, leaving the wheel, becoming a hermit, either being the complete drug addict or the nurse, the one who serves the unconscious collective. But this is, you know, up to you. Okay. There's all the planets. This is the North and South node. These are two hypothetical points which mark the crossing of the Moon and the Sun's path. And it is because of these two, the North and South node, this is the North node, this is the South node. In Vedic astrology, this is called Ketu and Rahu. And this is why we have eclipses. It's when the Sun and the Moon pass this hypothetical placing of where the journey of the Sun and the Moon is. Here again we see Saturn representing Capricorn and Aquarius, Jupiter representing Pisces and Sagittarius, Mars representing Aries and Scorpio, Venus representing Taurus and Libra, Mercury representing Gemini and Virgo, and the Sun and the Moon representing Cancer and Leo. Okay, and these guys are still ruling the show under the influence of Jupiter, and Jupiter has taken Venus and Mercury as his gang to overtake Saturn with Capricorn and Aquarius. Age of Babylon, 322. And the Lord God said, the man has now become like one of us, knowing good and evil. He must not be allowed to reach out his hand and take also from the tree of life and eat and live forever. Yeah, basically they want to keep us in the flesh. It's an inside job, going from lead to gold. So the lower chakras, you either find this place, this is the material wheel, or you remain stuck in the inferior and all the fake law. This is the fake gang. This is Jupiter with Venus, the pentagram, and Mercury, the Caduceus, keeping us as slaves, half beast, half man. That's the whole transgender agenda, age bender, ender. Okay. And it's all about our humours, our temperatures. Alchemy is about, you know, overcoming all this. We're going to be cooked in 5G, where we should have attained all this on our own. Everything is either hot and dry, cold and dry, hot and moist, or cold and moist. Okay, I think we've seen everything. So, anything, then there are the aspects. The wheel is split in half in 180. and these represent the different aspects. The planets, depending where they are on the wheel, will make either sextiles, oppositions, squares, trines, and it's all just like music. We're in the wheel, it's music. Okay, I don't think that we've covered the main things that I need you to know, and I then lead you through who you are, your wheel. We all get a different wheel. This is today. And depending on the time that we're born, the wheel will be set off. So the sun, that means this person born today will be born with their sun, because they're born just after the sun. The sun rises always here on the equinox, and it descends always here. So this person is born with the sun under the horizon, and they are born, so they're born in the month of, now what do I have this on? This is geocentric, so this is not correct, but it doesn't matter, just to show this. That means that, well, they say the sun is here in Sagittarius. It's not. It's in Scorpio right now. So let's just say the sun was in Sagittarius. So that means that for 1 month, the sun will rise every day between 6 and 8 in the morning in the sign of Sagittarius. It moves every month, it moves into a new sign. But at the time that this person was born, at 1719, the sun was rising in, you were born with the sun in Gemini, rising in Gemini. So that becomes your rising sign. Okay, at the time you were born, the sun was in Gemini, so that's your rising sign. But the sun is officially for the whole month in the sign of Sagittarius, and the sun has just fallen. Okay, this is my site. I'm going to put up this video I'm doing now as an introduction to things you need to know to come for a reading. It will probably frighten everybody off, but those who are ready to go over the video, look at it again, you can pick things up before you talk to me. Also, so to book a reading, you've got down here self-discovery, specialized reading, different strokes, recorded video readings. I would suggest, I do have to do my site again, but I would suggest anybody who wants to really know themselves to do a 3-part Trinity reading. I will add to that naturally recorded feedbacks. Written feedbacks you don't need so much anymore, because I do recorded readings. You would get that as part of the Trinity. Just a natal chart reading, €60. You would need also a recorded reading, which I think I put at €60 as well. Basically, anything you book, I'll fill you in with the rest. If you just want to book a €160 reading, I'll let you know what journey you can take once I've done the natal chart reading. But if you've already had readings with me, there are many other things you can look at. They're all here. You just have to go to them all, the specialized readings. I'm not sure what I've got here. Look, I've just put in alchemical accordance. That is doing your Saturn returns. Okay. So you can go have a look at that. Okay, thanks very much. All my love.